I'm Nikita Morel, a copywriter and marketing strategist for architects, and welcome to day 1 of 30 architecture website fixes in 30 days. So today we're going to be looking at how a strong brand can win you more and better projects, and I'll share with you 3 signs that perhaps it's time to refresh your brand. But before we get started, I want to clarify the term brand. When you think of your architecture practice as brand, you're probably thinking of your logo, your business card, or even maybe a tagline. But your brand is so much more than that. It's the holistic reputation of your practice. So it's your vision, your mission, your tone of voice, your positioning. Put simply, it's how people talk about you when you leave the room. That's your brand. So creating a strong brand strategy helps you stand apart from your competitors and helps your ideal clients get to know, trust, and like you. Okay, let's get started. So let's jump into my first example, which is multiplicity. So when you first land on their homepage, you immediately get a sense that this website is old and a little outdated. Perhaps it's the image with the yellowish filter or the layout. There is a lot of white space, and yes, you got it, the site is not responsive, which means it doesn't work on your mobile or other tablets. And we live on our other devices these days. So if your website isn't responsive, you can be guaranteed that you're losing a lot of clients every day. You can also see that there is no consistency in their brand. So as you can see, the homepage has this typewriter font, but then if you click into their about page and the menu, it all of a sudden changes. There also isn't a strong tone of voice, so the practice lacks personality. And if you hop onto their about page, you can see they look like lovely people, but again, there is something lacking. It just feels a little old and stale. And I know a lot of architects argue with me. They tell me, but Nikita, all our work comes from referrals and word of mouth. Do we really need to update our website? It's a big project and can come at a large cost. And that's cool. I get it. But yes, you do need to have an updated website. Because here's the thing. Let's just say a past client refers your practice to their friend. This past client raves on and on about how great you are. As your client is raving on, their friend is getting their expectations higher and higher. So what's the first thing they do when they walk away from the conversation? Well, they Google you. And if their first impression is a site that looks like it hasn't been updated since Flash, they'll reconsider and most likely take their business elsewhere. So a strong brand creates trust and instills your prospective clients with confidence that you will do a good job. Remember, it's all about perception. Your website is your first impression, and sometimes it could be your only impression, so you need to make it count. Okay, let's look at another example. So this is M Pavilion. Immediately you can see the difference, right? You've got a beautiful bold logo, consistency in fonts and colors. Within seconds you get a sense that this is a progressive practice, and your trust starts to build. A nice welcome message. They're on social media. And as you click into their about page, again, it's all very consistent, big, beautiful images and a nice layout. So you need to ask yourself, does your brand represent your practice? Does it stand out from other practices? You need to make your brand work for you. A strong brand will attract the right types of clients and filter out the ones you do not want to be working with. The need to modernize the look of your brand is probably one of the main reasons to reconsider branding. And it's a great opportunity to create renewed interest and rejuvenate your business's values and story. But before I want to go, I want to leave you with 3 signs that perhaps it's time you need to refresh your brand. Number 1, your business has evolved. So perhaps some years ago you created a website that, just so that you had an online presence. But since then you've barely had time to look at it, let alone update it. So now it just feels it doesn't really represent your brand and practice correctly. So when it's time to move on from an old image, a rebrand will help freshen your business's perception and give you more room to continue growing. Number 2, it feels just scattered and ad hoc. You don't have one clear message behind the brand, and instead it feels overly complicated and not at all unified. If this is the case, you need to take the time to reconsider the strategy behind your brand. And number 3, the third reason why you might consider a brand refresh is you hate your brand. If you are embarrassed to send people to your website because of the way it looks, sounds, and feels, or you've been procrastinating to address your brand because you just don't know where to start, well then I would say if these are things that you've been feeling or thinking for a while, it is time for a refresh. A rebrand shows your commitment to growing and keeping up with changes to the market, its target audience, and place in the world. So it's often an exciting moment in your practice's cycle and can be a great internal company morale booster as well. And if you're thinking, look, I just don't have the time, I'll do it in a few months, honestly, don't delay. At the very least, hire a brand and marketing strategist to start doing an audit of your brand. And if you don't know where to find a marketing strategist who specializes in architecture firms, well, today's your lucky day. I do just that. To learn more about my website audit service or any of my brand strategy services, head on over to nikitamorel.com or send me an email at hello@nikitamorel.com. I would love to hear from you. That's all for today, and please tune in for day 2 tomorrow.